So that reveal of Gowther, Nakaba-sensei. Well done. Well done, once again, for your brilliant fucking writing. Well done. Now that I've said that, this reveal, to quickly talk about some certain details, I think Meliodas already knows about this. I believe Meliodas does, because let's think about it. Meliodas, he is 3,000 plus years old. He has brothers in the Ten Commandments, so we know he probably knows about the entirety of the Ten Commandments, like all of them. And with Gowther being a part of the Ten Commandments, and then being in his squad, I believe that Meliodas probably knows. So, now that I've already discussed that, Gowther the Selfless. I think that already gives clarification of what he probably did. The Ten Commandments, if they break their commandments, for instance what Gollum did, when he decided to break his truth, he turned to stone. And for one, if you break those commandments, well, the effects of those commandments will be turned against you. For instance, you turn to stone. And for this, in fact, we come to find out that Gowther, at one point in time, when he was a part of the Ten Commandments, he broke his commandment, and he lost everything. In this case, he lost, I'm assuming, all of his memories, and also all of his emotions. He lost everything, and so he couldn't really feel, which explains why he is like he is. But the next thing to look at is his title. Gowther the Selfless. So, does that mean that his commandment was something to do with, like, being selfish? Like, if you're selfish, you do something for yourself, or you desire lust, you will lose everything. So if you desire, you lose everything. Pretty interesting. And this actually goes along with a little bit of Gowther's personality. Because let's think about what he did at the start of this arc, like this big arc going on right now. Gowther wanted to know more. He wanted to know more about emotions. He desired to know more about these emotions. And look what he did to Diane. And when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. It suits with his character, him having these desires. I mean, he was starting to go back to how he was. I wonder if him having these desires or whatever, does his commandment still work on him? Like, what I'm getting at is the commandment still activated? Whatever he had in the past? Or did Merlin somehow deactivate it? Now this brings up an interesting theory. I've discussed this before, a long time ago, a very, very, very fucking long time ago, about Merlin, how she's shady and stuff. And then this adds more crazy shadiness to Merlin as well, because of this chapter. We know in myth and mythology, Merlin was like the son of Lucifer. Now, in this case, Merlin is a girl. But, so let's just say Merlin is the daughter of Lucifer. And you had it to where Gowther was the half-brother. That's how it was in myth. And when you think about it like that, if Gowther is a Ten Commandment, does that mean that Merlin... Hear me out. Grain of salt, hear me out. Does that possibly imply that Merlin, since she knows so much about the demons, to the Ten Commandments, to Balor's Eye. I mean, she also made Balor's Eye, for fuck's sake. Connection to the fucking Ten Commandments right there. What if, just what if, Merlin was some form of adopted daughter, or daughter of the Demon King, or some high-class demon noble? What if? Just what if? Because Merlin was, once again, let me go back to myth. And Nakaba-sensei loves using mythology. It's been shown time and time again. Balor. Last week's chapter. Fucking Balor. Best example. I talked about that in one of my freaking Fury videos. So with this, Merlin being connected to Lucifer would be what you could say the Demon King. So we know that you don't need to be a demon to be a part of the Ten Commandments. We already know this because of Balor. Balor's a perfect example. He's a giant. So what I could say is, it doesn't mean that Merlin is a demon. That's not what I'm trying to imply. Merlin could possibly be a human, but an adopted daughter or something. Or something else entirely. Gowther is a half-brother in myth. So maybe Gowther is half-demon. The question is, now, is who made Gowther? We know Merlin said a long time ago that a great, powerful wizard made him. Because he's a doll. A great, powerful wizard made Gowther. Now, this could mean that Merlin did it, which I thought it was, but wrong now. So does this mean, if Gowther was connected to the Ten Commandments, does that mean that maybe, just maybe, the Demon King or something made Gowther? Think about it. So, pretty scary. Pretty fucking scary when you think about it. And that also correlates with Merlin being, like, maybe the stepdaughter of, you know, maybe the Demon King or something. But I just wanted to point that out. I wanted to point that out because that right there was just, I've been itching to talk about that the entire time since I read this chapter. So let's get into the other things of the chapter. Now that I've already kind of said my piece on that, we have it to where Fraudrin finally makes a reappearance. What is going on with Fraudrin in this chapter? He's been captured, as we already know, and he's kind of what you can say being tortured for information, which his type of torture was unexpected. For one, he actually gave up some certain information, which revealed, you know, Gowther being a part of the Ten Commandments. And we know Fraudrin, he's a fraud. Hence his name. But with that, I don't think he really is lying the way he was acting. Because, for one, that fight with Fraudrin and Gowther, since, you know, the early stages of the Seven Deadly Sins, and even in the anime it was shown, that fight has always been very, 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 very fucking shady. It's been a very shady fight, because Fraudrin being like a Ten Commandment and then losing to Gowther, it just, honestly speaking, there was something there that was very off about that entire event. And now seeing the side of what Dreyfus was talking about, or, you know, Fraudrin, of saying, like, when I saw this, I instantly knew who it was, and I was overjoyed, that explains the fight quite a bit. That explains the fight of how Fraudrin lost, and how he allowed it to happen like it was. Is because Gowther was one of the Ten Commandments. That fight has always been shady. I've always looked at that fight like something is very off of that. I mentioned that many times before we found out the truth about Gowther. You know, not Ten Commandments, but like how different he was, like morally gray. I've talked about this before. And seeing how now we got more information about that, it makes so much more sense. It clarifies the entire picture. We actually got the entire picture that's not shattered, and it's crystal clear now on the screen. So, besides that, however, we get some magic shown. And we kind of find out that the king of the capital, he has a brother. And this brother has some really, really weird magic. Like, the magic he was using was scary. Like, he stabbed freaking Fraudrin. And he didn't care that it was Dreyfus. He's like, oh, Dreyfus would be fine with me trying to kill you, because, you know, making an ancient demon kneel before me. And as one thing led to another, we kind of find out about this magic power that was about being haunted. When you have this seal on you, you'll be haunted by the people you have killed. So all these people that Fraudrin has killed is haunting him and trying to kill him. Constantly. We don't know how long these effects last, but he's being constantly haunted for however long we know of. Which is a horrible fate. So, that's some pretty scary magic as well that the king's brother has. Can't wait to find out more about him. I want more clarification to him, or, you know, more information down the road from him, because right now he's a pretty cool character. I loved his introduction and his design. He seems like a really badass old man. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you all feel about this chapter of Taizai? How'd you feel about those reveals? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please be safe. Chibi out.